Just like, guys, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to see if I can get a charger for my Apple Pencil while the timer's running. Okay. I might be able to do it. I might be able to get through this. So if you do have any questions, you can always pause the video if you're watching the recording. And as well, we're going to post each individual passage by themselves as we go through it. So let's see here. Here are recent studies suggest that although industrialized nations may have benefited from larger cities, the same is true for the rapidly urbanizing areas of the developing world. So urbanizing areas, especially those that really might be said too much urbanization too quickly. Okay, so urban, right? This is like the industrial revolution is happening for certain countries right now. The studies by Stan Frank take a close look at the actual connection. Between city size and income. Their initial study from last year relations between economic development and average metropolitan area size across the world between 1960 and 2010. Which were less than because we were including national population size, physical land area, educational. Okay, good. The size of cities. The median city in high-income countries. So 500 to 650,000 people, big but not huge. They quadrupled. So it went from like 20% to 400%. Countries. 14 to 15. Okay, so the big switch. Okay, so this is basically saying, guys, right, for developing countries, that there's some significant economic downsides to growing too quickly. 2.3% decrease for 0.7% increase. The latest study, the researchers found that developing nations tend to get bigger bang for their buck. Small and medium-sized cities for developing nations. You can just see the most economic from having larger 500,000 people or less. Bigger cities that have more positive income. Larger country. 10 million inhabitants produce a nation like only if the total population is 20.5 million or more, according to the study. So it's a huge country, right? If it's a huge country, population-wise, the United States, China, India, right? Those countries, if they have a big, huge city, 10 million or more, it actually is a benefit. But if it's not in a huge population country, it doesn't help, is what they're saying. Okay, this makes sense. Bigger, more developed countries are more likely to play host to knowledge-based industries that require urban. So legacies often fail to urbanization is always associated. So it's got to be it's a hybrid, right? It's a balance. Thumbs up, guys, if that makes sense. For anybody that's joining us, thumbs up if that makes sense. So it's a balance here with what we're reading. Additionally, the globalization has severed the historical connection between cities, local All right, guys, so this is a great example, right? I don't have to read the end, urbanization, or maybe I should, but let's see. The result is that the connection between large city growth is much more tenuous, producing a troubling new pattern of urbanization without growth. Again, they have a graph here. You can see that even though I was so slow on the last passage, taking a little over or almost 15 minutes, you'll notice that passage took me way less time to read. What I want to say about this, and this is a very important piece of information for all of you, right? And I'm talking obviously as the timer is running here, so I got to watch it, but I know that I'm going to make up time because I have practiced enough, and all of you can do this. This is about hard work, not about some crazy ability, right, or of reading ability. It's about knowing where your slower passages are on the SAT reading section and where your faster ones are. I know because of practice that number one is always going to take me the longest. It always has on average, without a doubt. It's far and away the one that takes me the longest. But I know that if I take my time and I still try to answer those questions accurately, I'm going to make up time because I like the science and historical passage to begin with. And I know that those aren't going to be that hard to understand if I'm focused while I read. Okay, again, thumbs up. That's a huge, huge tip, strategy, trick if you're trying to improve your SAT reading section, is to know where you're great, right? Know what you're doing right and wrong. Know, all those kinds of things will help you because most importantly, and you'll see this, I've been talking for a minute now and I'm not worried at all. It will help you stay calm. That's the key. Is that if the more knowledge, the more understanding you have of the format, it will help you stay calm. Very, very important. Okay, so number 11, the main purpose of the passages, right? Does that, again, guys, thumbs up. If you're watching live, thumbs up if that makes sense. If you guys have any questions that are watching live, don't hesitate to post those in the live chat. Otherwise, make sure that you post those below. The main purpose of the passage is to describe the cause and consequences of the phenomenon. Maybe. Propose a new solution. No, they weren't proposing a new solution. They were just studying it, question whether research. No, it wasn't questioning it. Critique the methodology. No, it wasn't critiquing. I don't love A, but I think that's the only one that isn't a definite no. They didn't propose a new solution, right? It was just describing the study. They didn't question the study, right? It was just, again, describing it. They haven't gotten to the point of questioning it yet, and they didn't critique anything. They definitely didn't do that. It's definitely not D for number 11. Thumbs up, guys, if you're right. Elimination is so important here. Which choice best supports the idea that it can do? Which choice best supports the idea that it produce unique circumstances? I think it's going to be like right here, right? Well, advanced nations. Do we have that somewhere? 32 through 35. While developing countries, advanced nations benefit from having large cities. Developing nations do not. I think, right? Do you guys see that for number? It's definitely not A. I'll say that. I'm a little confused because 32 starts in the middle of a sentence. Let me go back here real quick. We're going to study from last year's relation between economic development and agriculture. True robust and progressive variables. Sorry, guys. Now I'm taking too long on this one. I kind of like this one better. It's not going to be D because those two are too closely related. I don't even have to. I mean, I guess I could look at D, guys, but I don't think it's going to be D. I think it's B now. I originally thought C, but I didn't even look at B. Now reading B, right, because it's to distort comparisons because you're controlling. It seems like they're controlling for so many variables, so they recognize right up front that they have to control a lot here in this study, or it's not going to look right. It's not going to be correct, right? I think it's B, but I'm going to star 12 and get back to it if I have time. Based on the passage, which choice best describes those who frequent reviews posed the first and second studies? Second secrets and minor and research. What was this? I don't remember the latest study from them to get a bigger bang for their buck. Oh, so this is talking about bigger cities. Oh, it's just different, right? What is it about? I think it's C. It's not a right. Maybe you guys feel this differently, but I gotta keep going with time. But it's not D, right? It's not offers a more negative, and I don't think it corrects a minor error. I don't think it confirmed, right? I think it's C. This is the one talking about the economic, right? I mentioned when I was talking about India, China, United States, that big, huge population countries are okay having big, huge cities. That it doesn't quite work in that way. I think it's that should be right. So but I got to keep going. As used in line 29, feature most nearly means 29 feature as a necessary feature as a necessary component. Definitely component. That one's easy. Yeah, necessary component of it. Can most usually infer from the passage that a megacity's economic impact in a country is greater in countries larger physical land area depending on the type of companies. No, relatively equal for our developing countries and high income countries. Greater in countries. Was it greater in countries? I thought it was greater in countries with more population. Am I crazy? I don't know, guys. I'm gonna skip these two. So 15 and 16, I'm gonna come back to just because I want to make sure that I stay relatively close to time. It's definitely it's definitely not C because they talk about that like at length, right? Neutralized by the economic cost. I don't think it's D. I think it's either A or B, but I'm not sure. So I'm gonna come back to 15 and 16 because they give me line numbers. That's one way it can be very helpful to have these line numbers. But that one I don't want to get feel too overwhelmed. I suppose. Maybe here's the sixth paragraph, 52 through 60. There's several. Okay, so it's talking about provided develop a claim about the effect of large cities and very probably 18, right? Let's look at 18 quick. I'm running low on. I want to make sure. We'll shoot what line is that? Let's see. 10 years producing a troubling new pattern. Word. Producing, creating, right? Let's go back in here. Sixth paragraph. Provide an overview of existing. No. Develop a claim. I think it's B. Why they accept the theory about city size. No, it's not future research. That is this research. I think it's B. I got to keep going, but I think that one's B. According to the graph, during what range of years did the median city population size and developing initially surpass that of Hank? Chart. So let's see. Looks like it's right here. I don't know that, but it looks like 1990, guys. Does everybody see kind of where that happens? 1990 to 1995, right? And guys, when they're talking about the comparison questions, just look right to see where it is, right where they cross on the graph. That's why I immediately my eyes went there. I was supported by the graph. The median population in developing countries more sharply. That's true, right? That has to be true. When they talk about that, guys, the median population of cities in developing countries grew more sharply than did that of cities in high. They say that, right? 4 times versus 20%. So I don't even know if I have to go back. More than half the countries with the largest average city size were high-income countries. Maybe by the graph. I think it's A. I gotta keep going. I'm gonna come back to 20 if I can. I said all that stuff, right, guys? Now I'm running low. Thumbs up, guys, if you see what I'm saying.